Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. I have a brand new stamp set for you today, along with a few cards using this Tilly's Magic Garden from Catherine Pooler Designs. It was illustrated by Lydia Evans, and what I've done is I've grabbed a few of the little stamps that have some white space to them because I want to be able to see through these flowers and leaves. And I've layered them on my largest clear block. Then I've taken my deactivator tool and cardstock the size of a card front. You could go a little bit bigger and trim it down. And I also put some of that deactivator tool on my fingertips because I'm going to be touching this cardstock a lot. I inked those stamps up with Versamark and then stamped them down on my paper and used clear embossing powder to go over it. Then, of course, I got embossing powder all over my craft sheet and my stamp. I had to clean it up. I'm just going to continue with this process, turning my stamp as I go and stamping all over the background of my card. I can see, one of the reasons I'm doing the embossing powder between each step is so I can see it better. If you can't, go ahead and emboss in between each layer and it will become shiny if you heat set it, and it'll be easier to see where you're stamping. And then after I heat set this, I'm going to come in with a smaller clear block and I'm going to stamp just the spots that have some blank spaces and need a little bit more. And I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have this heat set, I'm going to go ahead and use my new Clarity Stencil brushes. I thought I had hit record, but of course I didn't, so you missed that part. But I just went in with my Tiara, my lightest color first, and then I went in with Garden Party, and I just brushed both of those on. Now I'm grabbing a clean Clarity Stencil brush, and I'm going in with my pinks and purples. So it's a girl, Pixie Dust and Party Dress, I believe. I'm going to have a complete supply list down below for you, so or over on my blog. If you're not on my blog, go check that out. But I'm just going over each of these areas, and I wanted it to appear a little bit random, and I wanted it to appear like there was light and shadows, kind of like when you're looking at a garden. You see the colors of the different flowers, but you also see the leaves peeking through as well. Now realize when you're doing this stenciling, these inks will dry back a little bit. So you want to go a little bit darker when you're doing it at the beginning because it will dry a little bit lighter in the end. I pulled in a little meant to be here to go over that Garden Party, and I really like how that turned out. Okay, so you have your background completely done. There's also a die cut, this new beautiful Hello. I love her handwriting. I die cut it out of black cardstock, a midnight cardstock to be exact. Did you hear? There's a new cardstock coming out from Catherine Pooler Designs today. You can grab a few of those colors that she has out. Anyways, you can use that die cut and layer it anywhere you want on that background piece and have your card be done. In fact, you could have done all of this on your card base and have a one-layer card. But I decided to die cut it. So I took the lace doily, what is it called? Gotta look at my notes. Large doily die, and die cut that out. And then I thought I would die cut out the center using the concentric circles die. but it didn't quite line up right. So I went and grabbed my dotted circle dies to see if that would work. So I'm going to try that, fingers crossed that it will work, and just die cut out the center of this doily. And you know what? It really did work. It die cut through the center of those circles, which kind of gave it a cool look. So now I've got pieces. I can make 3 cards out of this at least. So here I am just inlayed die cutting. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how this would look if you did the inlaid die cutting. You could also take out the doily and put the center in. For this card, though, I'm just going to show a really clean and simple thing you could do. You could just start out with that dotted circle die or one of the concentric circle dies and just layer it on your card. I did it in the top center, and then I'm taking some of my Tombow mono adhesive and I'm adding just a little bit. It might look like a lot, but they're just very light dots of glue over that hello die, and I'll layer it over the center of my circle. Kind of reminds me of the eclipse. We just had an eclipse here. So this is my first card, clean and simple, very easy. Now for my second card, I'm going to use that, since I did like the positioning of the die cut, I'm going to place the background piece, I'm just setting it on my cardstock, and then I'm again using that same adhesive to add a little bit of glue to my doily die, and then I just took in a two-way glue for the very edges, and I'm going to inlay it exactly where it goes into the cardstock and pull it up, and that way I have it nice and centered on my card base. Now another way, if you've got one of these Xyron sticker makers, that's what I use for the second hello die. And again, I think I use that midnight cardstock. The great thing about this is it comes with a repositionable adhesive, so I'm able to lay it down, see if I like it, and move it. So there's my second card. I think this one is my favorite. It's medium stepped up, okay? So you've got this first step, the second step, and then I'm going to show you here, this is the third step. I'm using that piece of paper, and I am going for the inlaid die cutting technique. One of the things about this adhesive, it's good to just kind of hold the paper down until it dries so that it doesn't peel up. And then because I've done all of this work and I don't want to mess it up at this point, I pulled in my Misty to do my stamping. So there's a sentiment that comes with the stamp set. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stamp it in the black Jack ink. So along with the midnight ink and the white ink that Catherine already had, there's also a smoke and mirrors. So this is one of the grays that cardstocks that she's going to have too. So I stamped that out. Then I'm going to do some stamping. These are two-step stamps, really, a lot of them are. So I just start with my lighter color and do the outline of the flowers, and then a darker color for my inside. And then I grabbed a few different leaves. There are so many different leaf options here. And I stamped more on the bottom than the top, but I'm just going to go to town and let you watch. So that is my third card for today. I do have another card I'll show you tomorrow that uses the same background, but in a slightly different way to make a bigger impact, or a different impact. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this card today and all the different things that you can do with these little stamps that are in this adorable Tilly's Magic Garden. If you're not already on my blog, head on over there for the complete supply list and more close-up pictures. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.